Brothers and sisters around the world, it is I, Comrade Zero, broadcasting from underground in the United States of America in this time of terrible trouble. So many things have happened recently, I almost don't know where to begin. I guess I should start off with the recent rash of tornadoes that has just recently crushed parts of Middle America. Now, this is no political fault, except for those that still don't think that global climate change is happening. Wake up. This is not normal weather. We had this last year. Last spring we had another gigantic outbreak of tornadoes that caused billions of dollars in damage and killed people and destroyed entire communities, and it's happening again. How many more disasters, how many more billion-dollar natural disasters have to happen before we wake up and start trying to make a change on the planet to decrease the carbon emissions that are filling up the atmosphere? This is just going to keep happening more and more often. We're going to get more typhoons in wintertime in the Pacific. We're going to get greater, more dangerous storms. Even people who are experienced storm watchers have commented that it's getting worse. The storms are getting more vicious and more cruel. Not only is that disaster happening, we have a disaster happening against women in the United States. Numerous instances of anti-female legislation, political action, and even loudmouth morons on the radio have been attacking our sisters. We know who the enemy is. A woman that just simply wants to get some birth control is now being treated as if she is somehow a morally suspect individual. This is a retreat back to arguments that probably predate anybody actually watching this broadcast. This madness must be counteracted. These people are St. Paul Christians who hate the body. Sex for them is something that is a temptation brought by women. Even now, the Catholic Church still classifies women as instruments of evil, as if men, we were somehow some pure, wonderful creatures. Has anybody bothered to ask Rush Limbaugh recently when he called this Georgetown law student a slut and a prostitute for wanting to get contraception? Did anybody ask him, well, what about the men she's having sex with? He only blamed her, as if she were the only one involved. Once again, trying not to blame men, as if somehow we are ensnared into the woman's lair. It's a very ancient old trap, and it's a hatred of the body, it's a hatred of sex that has been prevalent since the earliest Christian days. Read some of the writings of the so-called St. Paul. They are filled with hatred of the body, hatred of the flesh, the desire to punish, the desire not to be physical. Now, I'm not here to answer metaphysical questions, because the only life we know we have is the one we have here right now, and hating the body is a yearning for death, which the Christian religion is full of, worship of death. They venerate a Savior because of the way he died and what he supposedly died for. But this is filtered through Christian history as hatred of the body. How can one hate the body? The body is how we relate to the world. We don't know any other way. But this sort of vileness against our sisters must stop. How many out there have daughters, or you have any female loved one, and automatically they're branded as a prostitute because they want to get health care to prevent unwanted pregnancies? This sort of madness must be attacked and stopped at every opportunity. I hope every underwriter and company that signs up with the Limbaugh show pulls out their support. That's what happened to Glenn Beck, after all. That's why he's only on the internet now. That all went away because he lost his supporters. They need to do the same thing with Rush Limbaugh. He's always been a thorn in the side, but he has stepped over the bounds. But we've noticed these disturbing things from the man I sentenced to the virtual guillotine recently, Rick Santorum. Remember, he was only virtually beheaded. has still continued to parrot this anti-woman, anti-gay, and yes, anti-college. He said that the desire of President Obama to make college opportunity available to all people was snobbery. This is a man who has 3 college degrees. His own children go to college. That is what is known as hypocrisy. Now, hypocrisy is a word that gets thrown around a whole lot, but that is the definition of hypocrisy. By saying something that you have done is bad for other people. Massive hypocrite. That is also a form of elitism. These people only want their children, their friends' children, and the other wealthy elites to be able to go to college. This is a way that they can continue to hold power, to oppress, and to exploit. It is a monstrous hypocrisy, and this also must be attacked and fought against at every turn. Now, I admit this has been kind of scattershot, but I've had a lot of things on my mind. There is one good thing I want to bring up. There is currently, right now, an international call on May Day of this year to have a worldwide general strike. Nothing could make Comrade Zero more happy than the idea that everybody will not go to work, call into work, or refuse to work and get out on the streets and rally to support unions, to support the working men and women, not just of your locality, even though you need to support your local workers, but an international movement. And the call is going out now. May Day, May 1st, is the traditional day for all socialists and workers and unions to celebrate themselves. So I heartily recommend and urge everyone to make plans to make May Day your day, to shut the planet down, to make the oppressors understand what we are capable of doing. Let them fear the revolution that they have tried to use every stratagem to defeat and hold back. Well, Comrade Zero will now leave you with the following words. Workers of the world, unite! You have nothing to lose but your chains. You have a world to win.